best that she could. I know that now as a mother. As a parent, I know that now, right? But it took years. Throughout a large part of my adult life,
go ahead, let it go. Clutch your butt cheeks. We gonna have a whole couch crying.
I really thought I was a nobody. What I accepted from other people, what I accepted in relationships, what I accepted from people that I thought were my friends was crazy as hell. We have such a huge impact on our children. I can look in and see the things and the flaws, and it's okay.
This is Legra.
This is Stephanie.
This is Cherie.
And this is Ivania.
And this is Timeless and Unfiltered, where we are spilling the tea on midlife, one laugh at a time.
That is so
Welcome to
funny.
Timeless and Unfiltered. I'm Legra.
I'm Stephanie.
I'm Cherie.
And I'm Ivania.
Where we are spilling the tea on midlife, one laugh at a time.
And we're asking everyone to like, follow, and
No,
subscribe.
we are not going to say we are asking
And
everyone.
we are
They're
asking
telling
everyone. Because y'all don't want me to cuss. We're asking everyone politely to like, follow, and subscribe. We love you.
Can't stand her.
She said, love you.
Well, hey, this episode probably is going to be a little bit more serious.
Yeah.
And it just came across my mind because the last episode where we were talking about self-care, and it's just made me think of some of the things that, just listening to all of our conversations, some of the things that we've brought from childhood with us that we are still carrying today, good or bad.
Right.
Good or bad. And so it made, and as y'all can see, I'm sorry, the fifth co-host started the show with us today because this hot flash has been lasting about 10 minutes.
God.
And I'm trying to get through it, but hello, welcome to menopause and midlife, okay? But it made me think about some of the things, or when I listen to your stories, some of the things that I think may have triggered, like you still have triggers, you still have trauma that even we don't even realize we're carrying. And I just want to say for the record, Stephanie, your hair is killing right now.
It's so
I'm
cute.
looking at the print. Turn to the camera so you can see the design and the print. And I was just like, come on, Stephanie. She's so jazzy,
The
y'all.
original barber doll.
Hello. You did it
cold.
yourself?
No.
Oh.
The lady that cuts my hair, her name is the original barber doll.
Okay, well, shout her on the
That's
camera.
what, the original barber doll.
Okay, where they find
She
her?
bad
Where's she
on
located?
Instagram. Original barber doll.
That's a cute
Barber
name.
I
doll.
love that
Yeah.
name, but she slayed your
She's
hair.
a famous barber. She cuts famous people. Ursher.
Hello, name drop.
Are we doing the same? We using the same clips, the same
Stephanie.
clippers? Put his clippers on me, girl.
Yes. I just had to say that. I caught a look and I was like,
thank
okay, we'll
you.
come through hair.
Thank you.
But
Midline.
yeah, I just think it just made me think about some of the things that I didn't realize I was carrying as we were talking about just even our self-care and how we take care of ourselves or don't take care of ourselves and the things that we've passed on to our kids. I was thinking about, the things I said I passed on to my son.
Yeah.
And it just made me wonder, like, wait a minute, what else am I dealing with that I'm really not dealing with?
Right.
So I thought we'd sit back today and talk about some of our childhood triggers, trauma, and this is actually part 1. Part 2, we're gonna have Dr. Angela Montfort come on and sit down and talk with us. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay, now we know we have some people who are very private
Aw.
and who don't like sharing her business. So whatever you
I know,
like to
why am I
share or
here?
don't share, right? Why are you here? For the world to see. Whatever we want to share or don't share is completely up to you, or how deep you want to go into it is completely up to you. No, there's no pressure. No pressure. I was thinking about when I was younger. I think I can turn the fifth co-host off for a minute now. I was thinking about when I was younger, and I think about what kind of drives me, even to today, is I think about my mother. And I think about how hard my mother worked, and the things that she did just to support her kids. And my mother died at the age of 54. I'm 55.
Young.
I'm 55.
Wow.
And I remember coming up to my 54th birthday, and I remember actually when I hit 50, even though you don't you don't realize you're doing it. In the back of my head, I was counting down to 54. Because my mother was, in our minds, pillar of health.
Right.
She ate healthy. She looked great. Dang. Boom, she's sick. Boom, she gone. Like that quick. So in my mind, I've always was counting down to 54. And I know that her death doesn't have anything, but it's just something that
I can understand that.
That's just there. So I remember for my 54th birthday, I remember how monumental it was. And it was something about 55. I even mentioned it to my son. Like, I made it. Like, I made it. Whatever that was, I got past that. That I didn't realize even with that, I had a fear of dying for about 4 or 5 years.
No.
And that was just because my mother passed unexpectedly. I don't know, I don't have a relationship with a lot of the side of her family. I've just recently reconnected with one of my aunts, which I'm very happy and excited about. And honestly, don't know why we disconnected.
Yeah,
so I don't really have family history to know, like, is there something that runs in my family? Like, even when my mother passed, her death was labeled heart failure. When they don't know what's wrong, your heart stopped. It's called heart failure. And when they don't have a specific reason, it's labeled heart failure because your heart stopped. But we really don't know what was wrong with my mother.
Dang.
So I had this.
She didn't have a diagnosis?
No, they had no idea what was wrong with my mother.
That is the leading cause of death around women, isn't it? Heart failure.
And that's why probably.
Well, the thing was when she had first taken ill, they actually had the CDC come in. They took 94 vials of blood from my mother because they couldn't diagnose what was going on. So like, she got to have something rare, something whatever. And over the course of time, they had her in intensive care. They took over 94 vials of blood from my mom.
And still couldn't determine.
No,
come on.
She was healthy, but why is she here? She had fluid around her heart, fluid around her lungs, all those kinds of things. But there was they couldn't medically diagnose what was going on with her. So, but when she passed, and when they can't give you a diagnosis, your heart did stop.
Yeah.
So it's called heart failure. So her diagnosis was heart failure. But y'all said her heart was fine. She had a cardiologist, but when your heart stopped, it failed, right? So heart failure. But really you don't know why. So I think I realized, and this was a new realization, that I think one reason why I've worked so hard the last couple of years, because I was doing a countdown.
Yeah.
How old were you when your mother passed?
30 something. Girl, I can't even remember. 30 something. Yeah, but she was only 54. But she was 54 in a pillar of health.
That's young.
And then boom, she was gone. And it was so quick and it was instant and there was nothing.
Gosh, my grandmother died at 55. And I thought that was old until
at
now.
That time.
Yeah. And now I'm like, oh, that was young.
So young.
Very
That's
young.
young. And I think you don't understand it until you get closer to that age. And you're like, oh no, I'm still moving, I'm vibrant. And you're like, no, I still feel good and young. So I realized she was young when she passed.
My grandma was 65, and I feel the same with my mom because my mom got into her 60s, and I'm like,
you're doing the countdown, like, because you don't know, and I think when it happens early like that, it puts something in your brain. But I did not realize for the last couple of years I've been doing a countdown. So I worked like crazy, and I honestly had that realization probably a couple of days ago.
So that's something that needs to be unpacked.
Yeah. Well, the great thing is Sharice introduced me to Dr. Angela, and we're getting ready to start. We're going to sit down and actually have some private therapy sessions because I got a whole lot of other shit I need to unpack. But it ain't just that, y'all. It ain't just that. But I got a whole lot of other shit I need to unpack. But I didn't realize I have been living under a countdown.
I think we all kind of live under a clock, some type of way. We think that we know the day is coming. We don't know when. And then now I feel like I'm starting to see a lot of younger people pass earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Right. When I was younger, it's like everybody who passed was old. Like everybody in my family was old by the time I came around. But then as the older I got, like classmates started passing, co-workers started passing. And I'm like, Oh,
Like,
so
hold up.
my brother passed. He was 30. Like, a lot of stuff starts hitting you.
Was
like,
your brother ill?
He was not. That was a whole other story. Running from the cops and me.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's a whole other thing.
No.
Yeah.
But you realize now that tomorrow really isn't
not promised.
promised to anybody. Like anything, first of all, a car can hit you, you never know, but illness can hit you like suddenly, you just don't know. Like, so you do have to live for today. You do have to realize that whatever you can do today, get it done today. Whatever trip you want to take it now, because you don't know next year if you're going to be here to do it. So,
Or if you locked down in your house and can't go nowhere.
That's true.
COVID.
Yep.
Yeah, that traumatized me.
Yeah. COVID traumatized you?
Yes, God. That's why I get out and do everything I want to do. I used to procrastinate, like, I think a lot of people, realize that we took a lot of things for granted. Yeah. Like being able to go to a restaurant and sit down and eat, to be able to go to a friend's house, to be able to travel. Was it like a year they had us like on lock? Things were like that.
just about.
That traumatized me. I didn't like being shut in and shut away like that. So that's why I do
It was scary.
whatever.
And then people were dying in the hospital and you couldn't even see
Yeah,
your
you
loved ones. You had to say
That
goodbye
was scary.
on a laptop or
It's like,
a tablet.
that
was scary.
That was really
And that's like why I don't watch the news to this day, because they used to have we have 2 million people now infected, and every day, and I was like, this is my anxiety. I can't take this, and I stopped watching it because it was just so terrible. It traumatized me. I think it traumatized a lot of people.
It really did, though. It really did.
It did.
It made me lazy.
Really?
I mean, that damn Uber Eats came out and Instacart. To this day, I don't go to the grocery store. And I was like, you gotta stop doing that because you're spending a lot of money on fees.
Yeah.
And the sad part is, it's about 3 minutes from your house.
Yeah.
The grocery
Get
store.
up and drive, lady.
I
But
don't
then
like
that
going to
means
the
I gotta
store.
put on clothes.
Yes, that part.
You ain't have to put on clothes stuck in the house.
No.
Right.
I
I was
can
like,
imagine that
COVID
would do
changed
that.
my habits. My habits.
It did.
I love wearing heels and stuff, but you ain't gotta do that around the house. I'm in sweats. I ain't even got to comb my
I don't
hair.
get dressed.
I ain't even got to put a wig on if I don't feel like it. I can wear a bonnet all day.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, COVID definitely changed people. Even mental health, like if you think about it, we started talking about mental health during COVID because it impacted everybody in such a different way and so much.
You realize how much you miss being with people and around people.
You do. Yeah, you do. We just staying at home and eating. I mean, we just
It was so
ate.
funny. I wanted a hug so bad. Like I was calling my aunts and everybody. I was like, I miss you. I just want a hug. Like because you couldn't hug people. Like, you couldn't touch people. And people, were everybody, you didn't know if they were infected or not. You had to test. I was like, I just need a hug.
So terrible. Yeah, so that would affect people's mental health.
Yeah, and it changed the world. Think about it. You used to be able to call your doctor and get in at least a week, within a week. Now you wait 6-7 months. I mean, COVID changed everything. That was really traumatic.
did any of you lose anyone close to you
No, thank
due to
God.
COVID?
No, thank you, Jesus.
You know what? I did
not.
Well, first of all, I can barely remember yesterday, let alone COVID. But to my knowledge, look, I don't want to say I didn't and be like, girl, you lost your, and be like, oh, Lord,
You
and
like,
you
oh,
forgot.
forgive me.
To my knowledge, I don't think I lost anybody directly to me. I've heard of people passing COVID, but no one that I.
No, I didn't.
That was such a blessing, though. But is there something that you realize you're still dealing with, or something that from your childhood that you're still carrying with you that still affects you? That catches you, that you're aware of, because a lot of stuff we're not even aware of.
Yeah.
I am. And I know I need to talk to somebody. I say that all the time. I just feel like I ain't got time. But yeah, so like you've mentioned as far as content, take pictures of yourself and do this, and I don't. I hate
And
taking
I'm so mad we didn't
pictures.
get a video of you the other night. That outfit you had
I
on the
just
was
other
so
night.
sharp.
I
Stephanie.
don't like taking pictures. It is because my grandma, rest in peace. I think 10th grade, my school pictures that came in, and I was like, oh my God, I just look so ugly. I just look so terrible. And she's like, well, pictures never lie.
Is that what your grandmother said?
Oh my God. And when I tell you, I have carried that
Yes.
my whole life. I do not like taking pictures. I'm just like,
Yeah, but sometimes it's not about looking cute. It's about the moment. So it's not like you have to take a picture just to share it all the time. I think now with Instagram and everything, we always want to take a picture that's shareable. And I'll tell you this story. The last time I was with my brother and my mom and his girlfriend, we all went to Copeland's. And my mom was like, all right, let's go, just take a picture. I was like, nah, Mom, let's go, I'm ready to go. I don't want to take the picture. And that was the last time that I saw him. Next time I saw him, he was in a hospital bed.
Oh, Jesus.
And so I remember that, and I was like, nah, just take the picture. That's what I said, just take the picture. Because even if it's not a great picture, it's still a memory.
Yeah.
Just take the picture.
Two different traumas, right? Like two completely different traumas. And I understand yours, and I understand yours. And for your grandma, your grandmother, your mother, whoever, to say something like that to you would have to be
She might have been trying to be
traumatized.
funny with it, but as a kid,
It's just the way you
I
took it,
took
though.
that to heart. I was like,
Yeah.
so I'm ugly. And so I just
You
don't
are
like
beautiful.
you. Are so
You should take a lot of pictures, Stephanie.
Yes.
But some people are photogenic. I know my ministry
girl,
is not
cut
being
your-
photogenic.
Well, cut your
It's
head
just-
off because your fashion is fierce.
Everything. You got the whole package.
That's something to work on,
appreciate
though.
y'all saying that, 'cause
That's no.
That's
no.
something
Saying,
to
you
work
know, out of my
on.
head, what was
No.
Stephanie wearing? What was Stephanie put together? What am I going to? How can I look like Stephanie today?
I ain't trying
Stephanie
to be
got it
funny.
going
I don't
on.
have no ugly friends.
Well,
That ain't on
I
purpose.
don't.
That's not on purpose.
I say I
have
don't
ugly
either.
friends.
I said
But the
I
first
really-
step
I
is
don't.
recognizing
the
it.
ugly one.
Yeah,
Then.
So
that's
you
why I know I
recognize
got a
it now.
problem with
Yeah.
it, and that's why even with my boutique, I would take pictures. I always look down, and then people will comment like, "Why you always?" I'm like, "Don't worry about my face. Just look at the clothes. I'm just trying to sell the clothes. It's just yeah. I got to unpack that.
But that's a good thing. Unpacking. We talked about this before. For me specifically, and I always say this, y'all know I always say this.
Don't cry, Sharice,
My
'cause I
mom,
feel like
I'm
you're-
not.
Don't.
I'm
I feel like it's
not.
happening.
My mom did the very best that she could. I know
Yeah.
that now as a
Yes.
mother. As a parent, I know that now, right? But it took years. And so when we start talking about unpacking, to be an adult with children, and you realize that certain parts of you were impacted for something that happened long ago. And so one of the things that, I always say this, somebody saying to you, who do you think you are as a kid? Think about this. You hear people today say that to their kids.
Yeah.
Who do you think you are? Because it's probably a learned behavior.
Yeah.
But throughout a large part of my adult life,
Go ahead, let it go. Clutch your butt cheeks. We gonna have a whole couch crying. Go ahead.
for a large part of my adult life, a lot of the things that I went through, I probably didn't have to, but it had to do with the fact that I really thought I was a nobody. And so what I accepted from other people, what I accepted in relationships, what I accepted from people that I thought were my friends was crazy as hell.
Yeah.
But if in your brain you're a nobody, and parents don't start out trying, most, because there's some crazy ones out here, but I don't believe they try to hurt their children. It's just learned behaviors, it's cycles that we go through. How do we break those cycles? Because I wish I would have broke this.
Okay.
A long time ago, because I think about some of the things I passed on to my daughters, not knowing. You know what I mean? It wasn't like I was a bad parent. I just didn't know.
Yeah.
So I didn't say those things to them, but what were the things that I was supposed to say? What didn't I say? What what should I have said? We have such a huge impact on our children, and those things we carry, like how you carried yours, those things that we carry and we keep pushing on, and then our grandchildren go through it, and we watch it. We watch our kids do it because, not that any of us have grandkids, but we don't know. Nobody sit down and tell us. We don't. Thank God for therapy. You know what I mean? Because I was able to get it. But think about this. Some people literally live and die, and they never heal. They never unpack. they never get to understand.
And they feel like they don't need to.
And right, you'll have the parents that you can go back and say that to, and they'll fight you. Yep. They'll fight you. They won't apologize, especially the older they are. And one of the things that was amazing for me was to be able to apologize to my children for whatever it was, because we don't know. And your kids will come back and tell you. They will tell you. You could think you're the best parent in the world.
And it hurts.
They are going, and it hurt like hell. Apologize, because it is their experience, and no matter what it is we think we did or didn't do, if they're telling us our experience, they just want, I'm sorry, I apologize. And it doesn't even matter if you don't know, if you didn't know. Give them what they need so that they can heal. And like for me, I'm realizing that as I heal myself, I am healing my daughters. Yes. And I'm healing the women around me, and I'm healing a greater circle, a bigger circle outside of myself, because I can look in and see the things and the flaws, and it's okay.
I think parents should start doing temperature checks with their children. Every couple months, every couple years, do you have something you want to share? Have I made you feel some kind of way? I think that should be something normal, because as my kids have gotten older, they've come to me and tell me like, you hurt my feelings back in the day when you said, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, because I didn't know. And so I think it may need to be a new norm for people. I call them temperature checks. Just check in with your kids and, see, is there anything I can do to help? Even if they don't go to therapy. Because I think, like you said, the kids will come tell you, and you'll sit there and feel like shit on a stick and just like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, sorry. And I sorry my kids to death. And I'm like, and not making up excuses, I explain. And then a lot of them like, you don't have to explain, because they've done therapy themselves where they're like, we understood that you were a kid raising kids. Right. So we don't hold it against you. And it took for them to get older and kind of see. But I'm like, dang, if I would have checked in, or if they would have been vocal enough then, but they were probably scared they were going to get a whooping or something. So they probably didn't going to get a whooping. So they probably didn't want to say anything, but
And a good takeaway for me, a good takeaway from this is that if there's, and hopefully there are, the younger generation of women that's watching this, you know what I mean? To check in, like you said, do the temperature checks, talk to your children, don't, do the things to them. Don't get up early in the morning just raising hell and fussing because you're unhappy, your man made you mad, or whatever's going on in your life. Like, consider your kids as real little people. They are little people who need you to show up for them every single day, because they can't do it themselves. And have those positive talks to them. Make sure they understand their greatness and who they are and how much they're loved, and the things that we may not have been imparted. And that's not all of us either, right? So I'm not making it like all parents are crazy, but what I'm saying is just make sure that learn from us. I guess that's what I'm saying. It's just learn from us and just try to do things earlier so that you don't get to a certain age and have to unpack all of this.
I feel like some of these new kids, they're a little different though. Like,
I'm
you
about
have
to say
they
are headed and disrespectful.
That's respect. It's like how do you still get respect from them and still teach them and then still let them talk to you and come to you and be open?
Yeah, like, but it's this older age group, right? So we're talking about the ones who have already gone through it, who have gone. So what I'm saying is that start imparting this thing, your grandkids or people with the younger, women in their 30s, late 20s, raising children so that you can bring them through it. But the kids, to me, right now, there's a lot of sense of entitlement, a lot. But we have to take some accountability for that.
Absolutely.
We have to take some accountability because I'm gonna be honest, for myself, I probably lacked. Well, we all lack, but I lacked, and so I tried to make up a lot, like do too. I overdid it, so too. I should have done a little bit more in terms of, okay, did you do this? Did you do that? I'm gonna let you fall and I'm trying to make sure you fly because I don't want you to fall.
Yeah.
Why you gotta, I hate that they say you have to crawl before you walk. I don't want you So we have to take a little bit of accountability for the entitlement. It's bad.
Yes.
So bad.
I'm not saying all, but you know what I mean? Like, well, at least for me, I have to just sit back and be like, oh, girl.
And I think too, the order of the kids, like the oldest is probably a lot more independent. I'm the oldest. I was a lot more independent than the baby. It's
I'm
like
the
you
oldest.
get everything done for you. Some of the trauma I have as a little girl, I remember being in 3rd grade, and my 3rd grade teacher, Miss Rouse, I remember her coming up to me and always telling me to, hold my head up, because I always do this. I always look down. And she said, speak up. And I always hear that in my head every time I talk to somebody, speak up. I always get the, what'd you say? And I know that stems from some family stuff. Like everybody in my family, all the women in our family were fairly, not meek in stature, but kind of meek and quiet. And, we kind of let a lot of things happen to us. We didn't really control what happened around us a lot. And I know some of that has been passed on to me from, not my grandma. My grandma was loud and wild. But my aunts and my great-grand aunts and my mom and everybody in my family was like basically in their 70s or 80s by the time I came around. But we were all just really quiet. And my mom is very quiet too, so I get that from her. And I think I got some of the anxiety from her. She won't claim it, but I've kind of taken on some of that to where like I get anxiety just going to the grocery store. I get anxiety just thinking about what I have to do for the day. But
how do you get through being a lawyer?
Well, I don't have to be in court, so that's different.
Oh,
I'm a transactional lawyer, so most of my stuff is written. So I don't really have to talk and interact with people. Even when I do have to, I get hot and sweaty. Like if I know I have to make a call, I get hot and I'm like, and I psych myself up. But when I'm in it, I'm okay. But the psyching myself up to get into it, like I go through that. It's a whole mental thing. So I know some of that is from childhood, and I don't know where the trauma came from per se, but I know I've taken that on. So I'm a lot better now, but I do still have that nervousness. It feels like I have to make a speech. It's like that feeling all the time. Like I have to get up and make a speech in front of everybody. But and it's gotten worse, probably about 10 years ago, but it's gotten better slowly over the years. I have talked to somebody about it. And I kind of challenge myself now to go out and do stuff. Like networking is super scary for me.
How do you feel doing this?
This is scary. Like the first time I had to take a shot.
I'm gonna get some drugs now. Baby, that
I
bring
had
you
to take a
down.
shot. Like y'all just don't know inside. I was,
I need to calm down.
You are
talking now. You are.
So I'm good. I'm growing. It's a process.
Oh,
Good.
good. That's what it's like. It's got to be scary
This is
for
scary.
you.
Good job.
But it's fun. It's fun and scary. So.
But hopefully it helps too that you're doing it with people.
True. Very true.
And I hope you feel like this can be a safe space.
It is. It is.
That this could be a safe space. Well, we have a caller that called in for us. This one kind of stung a little bit, or it just I just felt almost like I could feel her when she was saying it. So let's see how this goes.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Cheryl. I'm from Georgia, and I would like to address the insecurities resulting from childhood traumas. The insecurity that I face is that I was never considered pretty enough or good enough to be included. And that was from my extended family. So I couldn't wait until I got older to move away and leave all of my family behind. I still struggle with feeling like whether or not I belong, if I'm good enough. So unfortunately, my defense mechanisms are that I don't trust anyone or really depend on anyone. So that way I won't get disappointed and hurt. I still question why not me? Why didn't he think I was good enough to be included? Or whether or not I was selected, and it causes me to back off and retreat from others. So I still kind of have that wall built up around me, but I'm working on getting over that, even at this age.
I want
You gonna what, Stephanie?
fight the people that made her feel like that. Like it's
They
just,
probably suffering their own.
they
special
probably
hell for
need
that.
to, because I hate that for her.
You know what? A lot of times but this just my perception. A lot of times when people try to make you feel not beautiful, it's because you are beautiful.
Yep, and they hating.
And
You know what I'm
something
saying?
that
It's
inside of them,
because other people think you are beautiful. And it just so happens that I know this person She's tall. She had long legs, and I didn't know her as a child. So, but she and I actually kind of connected, like, you know, in our late 40s, 50-ish, you know, she played basketball and all that kind of, and she was in sports. So I kind of can connect with her because, you know, one of my traumas was being so tall at such an early age. I was 5'9". I'm 5'9" now. I was 5'9" in the 6th grade, and I was leggy, long legs and all that kind of stuff. And I used to try to shrink and hide, but I didn't realize I was statuesque. Hello.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And when I would walk down the street, older men would be hooting and hollering at me, and especially when, but you couldn't tell I was a baby. I was 5'9", but when you looked at me in the face, you knew I was a child. But from the back, you saw these long legs walking down the street, and you know, back then our shorts was way up here. Short. So they just saw this long-legged something. She's already had boobs and stuff, but I was a child. And then, but you clearly knew I was a child when you saw me in the face. But that also brings me to another one of my traumas, because my father, used to make me recite this little thing he used to say to me. My name is Legger, and at that time it was McClendon. I'm Legger McClendon. I'm 13 years old. My dad has a double-barrel shotgun, and he will use it.
Okay. Gosh, for those certified
daddy used to make me
pedophiles.
say that.
Because he knew the men were looking at you.
He's smart.
And my daddy used to make me say that because I was long-legged like that. So I know her. I know she was light-skinned. Come on, we're not gonna get into the dark-skinned, light-skinned, but when you see this tall, light-skinned, younger child, long legs, probably wearing shorts and stuff, and it's like, and she got good hair, and you know, she got good hair, big beautiful smile.
Personality.
So those people around you with that little bit of even family.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You're not pretty. Sit down somewhere. But no, she was beautiful.
And that's what I paid attention
Right,
to.
you think you cute.
Yeah.
You're fast. You automatically had to be fast. And people used to call me fast. I was like, I was such a tomboy and playing football and climbing trees and stuff. I wasn't like, you know, or whatever, but I know her. So to even think that she has that, that little thing, it still sits in the back of your head.
And think about what she said. She said extended family. This is stuff that, and it really does happen in families, and we are separated. This would be an amazing subject to talk about or have somebody on, but that whole colorism thing, because it does happen in families. And just like the comment you made, good hair, because I'm gonna be honest, I always said, what the hell is good hair?
I mean, no such thing as good hair.
Healthy hair.
So, you know, it's just a lot of things to unpack, but when you're extending,
was bad hair.
Yeah, when it's actually curly.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's curling coming out of your hair, but out of your head. So, you know, and that for me was a thing. That whole thing about good hair. And even now I hear like a lot of guys say that more. So, you know, I just want a woman to have babies with, because I want them to have good hair. And I be looking like,
right, well, what's good hair? Right. But
So
it's
I
those things that her
understand.
family put that on her.
absolutely.
So I sympathize with her, and I intentionally chose that one because it kind of resonates with me.
Yeah.
That long, because I didn't know her then, like I said, but I can imagine her.
Right.
The Cheryl that I know today, and then I can imagine her as a child, and she was that lighter skinned, curly, because she has beautiful hair. And she has natural hair, so it's still curly, but now it's got the salt and pepper in it. I don't know what color it was when she was a child, but that beautiful,
hopefully not
curly
that
texture. Right, hope she wasn't salt and pepper at 12, but who knows? You know, these kids are graying earlier, but just being long-legged and athletic and all that stuff, and honey, they was probably old and fat and everything. Don't get me started. Anyway, we're gonna have, this is kind of part one, where I just wanted us to sit down and talk about a few things. And I know I can keep us on here all day by myself, and I'm sure each one of us got our own stories and things that we need to unpack. But therapy is just so important.
It is.
And to figure out what's going on in your own life,
Yeah.
to see what we are passing on to our kids. And so for part two, next week, I want to have Dr. Angela Montfort come on and sit down and just chit chat with us a little bit. You know, it's not going to be a full therapy session,
Right.
but just some things to talk about and how we recognize things or how to deal with some things. But I'm sure she's got a lot that she would love to be able to share with us.
Yeah, I'm
'Cause
ready.
Honey, we'll have y'all here all day.
Yeah.
Okay, especially Stephanie.
Lay on the couch, girl. Yeah. Mine is a sitcom.
you
I'm
say?
trying to. It's a sitcom. So
Look,
she'll
who
tune
knows?
in.
Who knows, right?
Jeez. No. I'm talking about my therapy session.
Oh, your therapy
You say that all the time,
Yeah,
though.
it'll be
You
a
do say
sitcom.
that all the time that you laugh.
They would
to-
tune in.
Yeah.
She's like,
But you say it's
what
good for
happened
you.
this week, Miss Hill?
Right.
Well, I feel. Yeah, she'd be entertained.
But she got to
But
hold
she
a
would
straight,
help
but
me.
she
She
got to
would
hold
help
a
me.
straight face through the whole session.
Like,
And
is
she's
this
like,
lady for real?
What you writing, Doc?
It's just this lady's cuckoo.
Because we love to hear your stories. And when I say she got a story
got a
for
story.
I
everything.
really do. Had an exciting life, and
Yes, that's wonderful though. But hey, so we're going to wrap this one up. And y'all make sure you subscribe.
Yes.
All platforms.
Like and follow. That's right. All of our platforms. But this is Legra with Timeless and Unfiltered.
this is Stephanie.
This is Sharice.
This is Ivania.
And we're going to keep on spilling the tea.
One laugh at a time.
Y'all make sure y'all go subscribe.
Bye.
Thank you guys.